Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our virtual open house. My name is Bill Burke. I am the Vice President of Student and Academic Affairs, and I'll be moderating this session today. We're grateful that we're able to have this open house with you all today. But before we get started, I'd like to go over a few housekeeping items. This webinar is being recorded. The recorded version of the webinar today will be sent to all the participants and available on our website and our social media platforms. As attendees, you're in listen-only mode. Your microphones will be muted, but if you notice at the bottom of the Zoom platform, whether you're on the mobile or the desktop version, you will see a chat, raise hand, and Q&A button. Using the Q&A button, you'll be able to ask questions during the presentation. That will be answered at the end of each section and as we progress along. So a quick overview of our agenda today. We're going to have a welcome from our president and CEO, Dr. Katie Leonard, and then a brief overview of the college. We'll be hearing from each of the program directors of the transportation division, which include Automotive Technology, Diesel Truck Technology, our one-year diesel preventive maintenance program, and our newest program, Heavy Equipment Technology, as well as our Logistics and Supply Chain Management program. Then we'll be hearing from the different student resources that Johnson College offers, including our financial aid department, academic advising, career services, just to name a few. After each section, there will be a Q&A portion where your questions can be submitted and will be answered live on the presentation. So now I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Leonard.
Great, thank you, Bill. Hi, everyone, welcome. As Bill mentioned, I'm Dr. Katie Leonard, President and CEO of Johnson College. Thank you all so much for joining us today for our first ever virtual open house series. How cool is this that we're able to connect during this time? I think that this type of culture, one that troubleshoots and looks for creative solutions, is one that we've built at Johnson College. We do not see problems, we see opportunities. We work to be a leader in the essential industries that are critical to the lives of every American. Johnson College provides real-world hands-on learning in a caring environment and prepares graduates to enter into or advance in their careers. At Johnson College, you will not find a more caring group of people. It started with our founder, Orlando S. Johnson, and continues with us. Our collective goal has always been to provide students with an education that leads to a family-sustaining wage and a career to be proud of. This is more important now than ever before because industry needs us more than ever before. I'm still getting calls and emails every day from employers looking for students with the types of skills that our graduates possess. The message is clear. As a Johnson College student, you are essential to the workforce. It is the reason our in-field job placement rate is so high year after year. Something that we like to say at Johnson College is that when industry calls, we answer, and we certainly deliver by providing you, the student, with live labs through the Industry Immersion Program, a dynamic internship experience, and the exposure to industry from day one. We set you up for success in your chosen field, and we help strengthen the workforce in the communities around us. Johnson College is a ready-to-get-to-work college. Our greatest strengths continue to be our size, the speed at which we can get students into the workplace, and our reputation for producing the best technicians and technologists around. We are the leaders in hands-on education, committed to fulfilling our mission to our students. Nothing deters us from this. And that is what makes Johnson College and our students the essential and powerful part of the workforce. Together, we will continue to demonstrate just how we work. I hope you will join us for the journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Leonard. And now I'd like to introduce our Assistant Director of Enrollment, Alex Ellsworth, to give an overview on Johnson College. Alex.
All right, thank you, Bill, and thank you, Dr. Katie. We appreciate the words. So as Bill said, I'm the Assistant Director of Enrollment here at Johnson College. I'm just going to give you a brief overview of some specifics before we kind of dive into the programmatic areas. First of all, I just want to talk to you about why students choose Johnson College. You can see from that logo right there, in 2018, we were actually named the #10 trade school in the nation, according to Forbes magazine, something we're very proud of. You know, our small technical college of about 450 students was chosen as #10 in the nation. So again, I'm very proud of that. Overall at Johnson College, we have 15 associate degree programs. 3 academic certificate programs. We really pride ourselves on being small and mighty. Dr. Katie always uses that phrase, and I think it describes us perfectly. You know, we really want our students to experience this personalized attention. They're getting this from our caring faculty and staff as well. And at Johnson College, we start with the end in mind, and we talk about our 86% in-field job placement rate as well. Kind of moving along a little bit, we talk about, again, this job placement rate. So how do we get there? We start with the end in mind. So we want to make sure that our students are placed in field. So they get a hands-on education. So the majority of the work that the students do is hands-on, and it's industry-driven training. So what do we mean by that? It is designed by industry for industry. So all of our instructors at Johnson have worked in the field. 80%, 84% of our instructors actually have over 10 years experience in their related field. So when we're designing our curriculum, when we're adding new programs, much like heavy equipment that we're going to talk about today, we work with different companies, different people in industry to make sure that that curriculum is tailored to the needs of today's economy. And then, granted, we talk about the hands-on education and the industry-driven training. We have a large emphasis on the soft skills of students to increase their marketability. So we want to make sure they can go out, they're getting that job interview, they know how to handle themselves as well. And just some quick did you knows regarding Johnson College. We were founded in 1912 by Orlando S. Johnson, hence the Johnson College name. So we have been around in the Scranton area for over 100 years at this point. We're a 2-year private nonprofit college. So that's pretty unique to this area. There are no other schools like this. Nice thing about it, we have that hands-on education and, again, small class sizes, personalized attention. Our accreditation right now is through an organization called ACCSC. It's the Accrediting Commission of Career Schools and Colleges. We're very proud of the fact, though, we're actually going through candidacy for Middle States accreditation, which is through the Middle States Commission on Higher Education. So we're currently in the self-study process of that. Moving along, our tuition for the year, $17,700. That is broken up per semester. So each semester you pay half of that. We do offer a student housing option. Again, we'll talk about that as we go on a little bit more, but that's just over $7,000 for the year. These two figures, though, I'm very proud of. When you look, just even you see in the news, commercials, different things like that, there's always a mention about student loans and student loan debt. The average debt from a 4-year college is $37,000. That's the average debt. So you're going to have some students that are obviously much higher than that. The average debt of a Johnson College graduate ranges from $5,500 to $13,125. So much less, obviously. That is according to College Scorecard, but we're very proud of that fact as well. So we want to get our students into industry quickly. We want to make sure that they're placed in their field and come out with as little debt as possible. And again, today's focus, as Bill had mentioned, is going to be our transportation and logistics programs at Johnson College. So automotive technology will be the first topic. We're going to talk about diesel preventative maintenance technology, which is our 1-year certificate, and diesel truck technology. Heavy equipment technology, we're very excited. That was just announced as one of our brand new programs at Johnson. So we'll hear from our new program director on that. And finally, we'll touch base on something that's definitely been in the news lately, logistics and supply chain management.
Great. Thank you, Alex. And at this time, I'd like to welcome our program director for our automotive technology program, Mr. Mark Kazemko. Mark.
Hi, everybody. Nice to have you here tonight. Tell you a little bit about our automotive technology program and our staff for the program. Myself, Mark Kazemko, they call me lovingly Mr. K. We also have Mr. Jim Williams as my assistant, and we are both alumni of the college. So we know what it's like to be here. We've been through our programs. I myself a little longer ago than Mr. Williams, however, but we are a 2-year associate degree program. And you're looking right now at the shop area with all the test equipment that we have. A lot of this test equipment is from grants that we got through ARC and different grant programs. We do have a lot of shop vehicles that are donations. Other than donations, shop vehicles that we do live labs on are student vehicles, faculty, staff, and relatives of students and faculty and staff. We do not do Very little, if any, outside work because we are not a repair facility. We are a learning institution. Our program is a 2-year associate degree program. We teach the basics from the front bumper to the rear bumper, and what we do is we create a well-rounded entry-level technician position, a technician for a position. Right now, I can tell you that just about all of our, I would say 99% of our seniors right now are in the workforce already. They're doing internships, and along with the internships, they've been working at the employers that they are doing their internships quite a long time before that also. We do have, I could probably say around 45 to 50% of our first year students are actually out in the workforce already. Like Dr. Katie mentioned, we like to get our students out into the workforce as quickly as possible. We're partnered up in the area with a couple of dealerships that take our students on for not only internships, but for the part-time work while they're in school. So there's a lot of options. We just went through the structure of the course, and we do start off with a couple of things that we call vehicle maintenance and repair courses, which are taking, as you can see, there's 3 of them in the first semester, which are taking along with the diesel and auto and heavy equipment right now students, because those particular VMRs are so closely related to each other that we can get the lecture part of the program of the classes done together. The labs, not so much, but everybody gets the same amount of, they get to learn the same material. So if you're an automotive student, you get to learn some heavy equipment stuff as far as brakes and steering and suspension. And if you're a diesel student, you get to learn some automotive steering, suspension, and brake system material. So basically in the auto dealerships now, they have light and medium duty trucks, which are diesel in most cases, and kind of works both ways. So, and in the heavy duty sector, you have fleet vehicles that are more on the automotive side with the light duty trucks and even some vehicles. So we try and make a well-rounded technician when we're all said and done. So if there's any kind of questions, I'm sure they're going to put up our contact information. Best way to get in touch with me is through email. Just make sure that you state that you were on the virtual open house, and I'll get back to you with any answers to any questions that you might have.
Thanks, Mark. We'll open it up for questions now. If anybody has any questions regarding the Automotive Technology program. I know Mark did mention that there was a lot of crossover, especially the first year, between heavy equipment and diesel as well. So if you don't have a question now, Mark will be hanging out for a while. So as we go through the additional programs, feel free to ask questions. So I don't see any questions in there right now, but that doesn't mean we won't get any. So
I'm hanging around, so
yeah.
you're around.
All right. Well, Mr. Kazemko, thank you. I appreciate it. At this time, I'd like to welcome our program director for our diesel truck technology and diesel preventative maintenance program, Mr. Willie Hobbs. Mr. Hobbs. Hang on 1 second.
There we go. Can you hear
There
me?
you go. Yep.
Hi, everybody. My name is Willie Hobbs. Students call me Mr. Hobbs. I'm in charge of the diesel truck technology program, and I've been with the school since teaching part-time since December of 2008. I have over 35 years in the field as experience. Worked my way up to service manager, and then came to the school. We have a very good rounded program. Mr. K had described about the VMRs and how we've combined them to facilitate the teaching and the learning for different types of equipment. So whether it be an automotive or a car, pickup truck, up to the heavy duty trucks, and then moved into the heavy equipment. So when you do brakes, you're going to get a general overview of car, pickup, trucks. The reason we kind of did this, not trying to go on and on about it, but you never know what your future is going to bring. So you could be working on cars today. You go to work for a construction company, you're going to work on cars, pickups, you're going to work on whatever they, physically own. So it's good to get a good general overlook on how everything works and how the differences are between different types of equipment. One thing we stress very highly is safety. We want our students to be safe. We also want our students to be safe once they become employees out in the field. I've seen a lot of people get injured in the past, and injuries last a lifetime. So we try to make sure that everybody does things the safe way, the proper way, and that's what makes you good technicians in the future. With the truck technology program, we basically go over everything bumper to bumper. So electrical, driveline, steering, suspensions, HVAC systems. You will get certified in the 609, the EPA 609 certification, whether you're in the automotive, diesel, or heavy equipment programs. We also teach and preach safety, so the PA state inspection certificate. We also have the federal DOT that we go over as well. Now, as we come down into the actual diesel program, we have engine overhaul, we have diesel fuel injection, and we changed it a little bit for the upcoming year. It's going to be diesel fuel injection and emissions controls. So we've added a lot of emissions components to the program, learn how they work, how they have issues, and how to maintain them. So diesel particulate filters, it's a diesel exhaust filter. So you got to learn how to maintain them, clean them. And then as we get into engines, through the years, we've listened to some of the students. You never know where they're going to end up in the future. And we were able to add some small diesel engines. So Kubotas, small Ford diesel, Isuzu diesels, the smaller Cummins, which you would see in the Dodge Ram pickups, on up to the Cummins ISX, the Cat C15s, Detroit. We have a Mack, PACCAR engines, which are in the Kenworth and Peterbilts. And then we were very lucky this year to add some manual transmissions to our program. So we had a program with Eaton Transmission, who is the manufacturer of most of the heavy duty transmissions. We were able to buy 10 brand new transmissions. So you are going to get a good overlook and a good understanding of how they work, disassemble, reassemble for rebuild purposes, as well as Allison transmissions, and then differentials and drivelines. Explain the different things with suspension, ride height, vibration issues that you can have if you have some kind of problem. So it's an overall very, very good program. And then a lot of it, like I say, it transfers between automotive, diesel, and heavy equipment.
Thank you, Mr. Hobbs. We'll take a look to see if there's any questions in there before we move on.
I do have one question.
Yes, sir.
It said, can I do diesel and automotive at the same time, being you said they overlap? So the answer for that is I'm gonna say you can do both, but I'm not sure if you'd be able to fit it all into your schedule full time, like the second year. They do overlap a lot of the VMR classes. And then with the second year, we go specific into program.
Right. So I think to have a true dual major right now, you can't do that. But a lot of our students, what they do is they go through the 2-year diesel truck technology program or automotive technology program, and then add on what would end up being just another year to a year, maybe, year and a half, depending on the schedule and your timing to complete the additional program, whether you're going from diesel to heavy equipment or auto to diesel or diesel to auto. So I think the opportunity is there to do that. And we do have a lot of students doing that, but to have them both completed in 2 years, the course load would be, the time in itself, and then scheduling the classes that are actually happening. Right.
Could I chime in on that?
Yeah, absolutely, Mr. Kazemko.
The way I always explain that is that you can leave Johnson College with 2 degrees after 3 years rather than 1 degree after 4 years if you choose to go to a 4-year college. Reason being is, like Mr. Hobbs said, it's going to be quite an overload in your second year to take the automotive and the diesel, and it's pretty much undoable. Too many credits at one time. So being that all the VMRs are taken, there's 5 VMRs altogether. There's 3 in the first semester, 1 in the second semester, and then 1 in the 4th semester. Other than those VMRs, all the gen eds and all the program courses is what gets you the degree in whether it's automotive, diesel, or heavy equipment. So if you take automotive for 2 years, you only have to come back the next year to take that second year of the diesel courses, which is doable in 2 semesters. So like I said, to make it simple, you can graduate from Johnson College twice in 3 years with 2 degrees instead of graduating from a 4-year college in 4 years with 1 degree that may not even pertain to what you're going to go to work as.
Yep.
Okay.
So I have another question.
Okay.
When we're done.
Okay.
I have a live question. It says, will there be live lab work? And the answer to that is yes. We were able the past couple of years to actually take in customer trucks in the diesel shop. We did a CAT overhaul, CAT C15 overhaul, and a Kenworth W900. It worked out very well for the customer, and it gave our students the opportunity to have an actual hands-on, a live customer truck and do it the proper way. We have quite a few projects currently in the shop, although we can't get there at the present moment. We're doing an overhaul on a 5.9 Cummins currently for a customer's truck. Thank goodness he's in no hurry. And then we did an engine swap in a Bobcat skid steer. And we did a fuel injection pump rebuild on a Ford pickup. So we do live work. So the answer to that is yes.
That's great. I have 2 more questions here. Well, it's kind of a 2-part question. So one is, and this is for both Mr. Kazemko and Mr. Hobbs, what's the job outlook for auto and diesel technicians, and what type of companies have our graduates been hired with, and where are they working?
That's a very good question. So last year, it was very nice to be on stage for graduation and for them to announce that we are 100% job placed. Our students all had jobs before they graduated, in good jobs in industry. So currently, right now, the seniors I have seniors in Freightliner, the truck dealership, Kenworth of Pennsylvania, the truck dealership. There's 3 of them there. And when we look at the outlook, one of the reasons why we looked into the heavy equipment is a lot of our students, they love trucks, but they also were interested in the equipment side. So last year we were able to place 4 students, graduates at Caterpillar. And then the year before, 4 students at 5-Star, the John Deere dealership. And it's just, you never know your future. I always keep your options open Try to learn as much as you possibly can. The more you learn, the more you'll be in need in the future. So we currently have a lot of people contacting us. We need your students. We need your students. We don't have enough students to pass out.
That's great.
Yep.
To piggyback off Mr. Hobbs there, our automotive students, except for 2 of them, have jobs right now. However, I haven't really talked to them lately. They may be employed, but chances are, with the situation we're in, they're not yet. But 2 out of 18 is not bad. Looking forward to having them employed by graduation, of course. The thing is that we got students at places like Jack Williams, McCarthy Tire, Coast Tire. That's the chains that we deal with. We also have students that work in the dealerships. We're partnered up with Gibbons Ford. We have graduates there, we have seniors there, and we have first-year students there. Same with Scranton Dodge, or I should say the help me out, Mr. Hobbs, the name of the auto group that
It's Pompeii Auto Group.
Pompeii Auto
So
Group.
they have truck,
Yes, they have truck
diesel
opportunities
pickups.
too. Yep.
And we have, I think currently we have about 6 of the diesel students employed there.
Right.
So-
So we got the Pompeii Auto Group, which is Tunkhannock Auto Mart, Scranton Dodge, Tunkhannock Ford. They bought the Ford dealership in Tunkhannock. Plus they have the medium diesel
Shopping.
Shop.
And
we also have partnered up with Toyota of Scranton, Toyota of Wilkes-Barre down in Motor World. Not only Toyota of Wilkes-Barre, but Motor World in general. We have students, we have graduates that work on Mercedes. We have graduates that work on a couple different lines down there, Mitsubishi, Toyota. We have seniors that are working down there right now on Toyota. So we're kind of diverse. We have a lot of industry partners that our students go and work for. And like Mr. Hobbs says, they're calling us all the time for our students. They know that the programs are good at Johnson College, and they know that they got well-rounded, not only well-rounded technicians, but well-rounded people, students, persons with the soft skills. They can talk to customers. They can answer phones. They can give somebody an answer straight-faced without, knowing what they're talking about. So, and that's what the employee we try and train our students. Okay.
the other thing we didn't mention, Mr. Kazemko, is whether you be automotive or the diesel students currently, we have Ford certification, we have Isuzu certification,
Oh yeah.
Freightliner and Detroit diesel certification available to all our students.
Yes.
It was a very large thing for us, for our school, and an opportunity for our students. So we highly advise all our students to take advantage of this, because every certification is worth something down the road.
Yep.
Great. Thank you guys very much. It looks like there are no more questions. But Mr. Hobbs, appreciate it. Mr. Kazemko, thank you again. Right now, we're going to move along to our newest program, and our program director, Mr. Nick Tallarico, to talk about heavy equipment technology, which will be enrolling its first class this fall. Mr. Tallarico.
Hello, everybody. Although this is a new program to the school, I'm not new to the school. I've actually been a part-time instructor for them for the last 13 years. I've been working heavily in the diesel equipment technology department, and we are excited to bring this new program, to the table. This is going to encompass partly what's taught in the diesel program, because we have diesel powered equipment. They have electronics, they have air conditioning, they have your basic essentials that come in the automotive / heavy truck package, as well as hydraulics, welding and cutting, flame cutting. We also talk about track and driveline components. So there is anything that will encompass earth moving equipment is how this program is set up. We are working with our partner. Well, it's not a partnership, but our industry partners. And trying to get the latest and greatest information from them to continue the our prompt or most current information that we can deliver to the students. It is a new program, so there are things that are going to be in the infant stage here, but we are planning on moving forward, and I'm excited to set this up and teach my first classes in this heavy equipment program.
Great. Yeah, definitely. Well said. Today was our official announcement. So starting today, we'll be recruiting for our fall 20 class, and we'll definitely be talking more about the enrollment process. But for now, does anybody have any questions? If anybody has any questions on any of our programs or would like to look at the course outlines, feel free to definitely go onto the website. Each program has a program overview. The heavy equipment right now has the diesel shop in there. It reviews career opportunities, program learning goals, in addition to the course outline and the technical standards. And of course, we will share within our presentation our program director's contact information, which can also be found on the website, where you can reach out directly with more specific questions if you don't have any today. So Nick, there's one question in here, and it kind of has to do with the same thing. So we talked a little bit about career opportunities within heavy equipment. What was your career path like as far as a heavy equipment technician, and what kind of companies did you work for, and what brought you to education?
Actually, I've worked for quite a few different companies, both encompassing heavy equipment and heavy truck industry. I worked for Alliance Landfill for a few years, both working on trucks and heavy equipment, and various jobs since then. My last endeavor came from the truck industry, but I've worked on heavy equipment in my 25-year career quite often.
Great. All right. Well, it doesn't look like there are any other questions for Mr. Tallarico, but like I said, feel free to reach out directly or take a look at the website for more information. Thank you very much, Mr. Tallarico.
Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to introduce our program director for our Logistics and Supply Chain Management program, Mr. Sean Tossi. Mr. Tossi, take it away.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you, and thank you everybody for joining us tonight in our virtual open house. So to begin, I'm Sean Tossi. Students call me Mr. Tossi. I'm the program director for the Logistics and Supply Chain Management program here at Johnson College. A bit about the program overview. So this program is a 65 credit degree program. It's designed to be completed in 2 years, and it's an associate degree. From a career opportunity standpoint, I'd like to say that really the job opportunities are abundant in this field, both locally and nationwide. This degree really sets students up for leadership and supervisory roles in fields such as operations, distribution, procurement, inventory management as well. Some of the big name local employers in our area who we have relationships with are companies like Adidas, Kane, Fastenal, and Rhodes Scholar, just to name a few. And to just give an example of the true value of this degree, we had a student who graduated just last year, and now he's currently in a supervisory role with Adidas. and it's his first position right out of Johnson College. And I personally, and I know we take a lot of pride in that. From a course outline standpoint, so as I mentioned, it is a 65 credit degree program designed to be completed in 2 years. And we like to start off by getting the students' feet wet, so to speak, with a lot of generalized business courses. So together we'll take courses in accounting, in economics, in introduction to business, as well as principles of management. And then we move on into some of the subject-specific courses that deal directly with various aspects of logistics and supply chain management. Courses such as basics of supply chain management, production and inventory control, quality management, and international logistics, just to name a few. I'd like to add that this field really has become more relevant today than perhaps at any time ever, given our recent crisis with COVID-19. Look, in this field, we really are responsible for providing the right products to the right place at the right time and at the right quantity. And it's incumbent upon us to provide that leadership and to provide that guidance at all levels of society. I'd like to take this time to field any questions.
Great, sure. Let me just pull it up here. So one question here, and it has to do with the nature of software within the logistics industry. So is there a standardized software that certain companies use, and is that something that is trained within Johnson College's program?
Yes, absolutely. That's a great question. So from a software standpoint, we talk a bit about perhaps the most common ERP system that's used. That's Enterprise Resource Planning System that's used, and that's called SAP. But more specifically, in most of these classes throughout the program, I like to have an emphasis towards Microsoft Excel training. I myself, spending all the years in the industry I've really noticed that that's perhaps the most critical software for students to have a competency in Microsoft Excel, and make a point into training the student to be adequate in that.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions for Mr. Tossi within the Logistics and Supply Chain Management program at this time? Just give it a second here. Not seeing anything come through right now, but like I said before, please feel free to reach out to Mr. Tossi or the other program directors. Their contact information will be on the presentation that is sent to you, and also on the website. Oh, we do have maybe potentially have a question here.
Yes, I see that question, if I may answer it.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Sure. So, with this field, typically you could see entry-level salaries anywhere within the $35,000 to $45,000 range. And truly, as you progress in your career, it's one of the more lucrative careers to get into, and specifically within this area here in Northeast Pennsylvania. I mean, if you drive up and down our major interstate systems, you see all the employers that are around. So to start, I'd like to say within the range of 35,000 is typical, and then it really truly moves up rather quickly from there with additional training.
Great. Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Tossi. At this time, we're going to move on to the next portion of our presentation. We're going to hear from our Senior Recruitment Advisor, Angela Semke, to talk about enrollment. Angela.
Hi, everybody. Thanks, Bill. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to discuss a little more about some of our other programs that you did not hear about tonight, and then I'll go over the next steps. So all of our programs are broken down by divisions. Tonight, obviously, we're listening to the Transportation and Logistics Division. We do also have a Building Trade and Technology. electronic and industrial, and health and animal sciences. Now, with our degrees, the majority of them are 2-year associate in either applied science or science. We do have 3 one-year academic certificates. With that, all of the majors that we offer, you do have to take general education classes. So you will have to take a math and English, public speaking, microcomputers, stuff like that. The cool thing about Johnson College, though, is that we don't make you go through those classes first. From day one, you'll be able to have your hands-on specific specific program classes, as well as your general education classes. Okay. I know a couple of people asked questions before about if you can dual major. Unfortunately, at this time, you are not able to dual major. And you also have to, when you fill out the application, indicate one major. So you can't come in undecided. So if you're between automotive and diesel, that's okay. We could sit down, we could talk with the program director. You can discuss it with me. We could figure out which is more of a passion to start out with. And then, as Mr. K said, you know, in 3 years, you could come out with 2 associate degrees if that's the route you want to do. So if you are interested after the presentation, if you like what you hear, the first step would be to apply online if you have not done so already. All of our applications are free of charge during the pandemic. We realize this is a very hard time for a lot of the students out there. So we have made our application free. If by chance you're a junior and you're not ready to apply just yet, I would highly recommend applying in September or October of this year. So September or October going into your senior year. If there is a fee on the application when you apply, please just call the enrollment department and we'll give you the fee waiver code. Once you submit your application, then we request that you send your high school transcripts or your GED transcripts. With that, if you have attended another college or university, it's not required, but you could always send in your transcripts so that our registrar's office can review it and we could see if you can have some transfer credits. That way you won't have to retake a course that you may have already taken. Some additional steps are required for students interested in the health and animal science programs. I would reach out to you personally and let you know if you are interested in one of those 2 majors. Okay. We always encourage our students to schedule a visit to come see campus to see how we work. Unfortunately, at this time, campus is closed. So we are changing our model a little bit to go with apply now, visit later. Certainly once campus opens, please come in, see the labs, be able to talk face-to-face with our instructors, hopefully interact with some of our current students. You know, come on campus, get a feel for it, make sure it's a good fit for you. And then finally, the last step that we always encourage students to do is to fill out the FAFSA. The FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid. This process will be discussed a little bit more shortly by Jessica Farrell. But at this time, do we have any questions about any of the other programs or about the next steps in the enrollment process?
I'm looking here to see if we have any questions on the enrollment process. I know some of the folks who registered and are attending are in the middle of that process. So of course, please feel free, you know, to reach out to Angela or anybody on the enrollment team. And we could certainly answer those questions moving forward. So Angela, I want to thank you for taking the time to talk about enrollment. We will be hearing from Angela a bit later just to wrap up the evening and talk about next steps as well. So thanks again, Angela.
Thank you.
All right. At this time, please welcome our Director of Financial Aid, Ms. Jessica Farrell, to talk a little bit about financial aid.
Thanks, Bill. Like Bill said, I'm the Director of Financial Aid here at the college. I'm also the school's certifying official for veterans benefits. So if anybody has any questions about that, please feel free to ask me. So I'm just going to very briefly go over financial aid this evening. Like Angela said, it all starts with the FAFSA. The FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid. And if you want to be eligible for your student loans, grants, and scholarships, this application needs to be done by May 15th. So if you have plans to start in the fall, you want to make sure you're going to get that done as soon as possible. You can complete the FAFSA 2 ways. You could do it via the web, or you can download the My Student Aid mobile app. Once you've been accepted to the college and we have your FAFSA on file, the financial aid office is going to send you a very detailed breakdown of all of your costs, your grants, your loans, and your scholarships. Your grants and your scholarships are your free money, so you want to make sure you're getting as much of those as possible. If you're interested in applying for additional scholarships, you can do outside scholarship searches, or you can even check with your employers or have your parents check with their employers to see if they offer any type of scholarships. Organizations such as McDonald's, Starbucks, Amazon, and Burger King, just to name a few, offer scholarships for college. Johnson College also offers scholarships. You will need to complete our application, which can be found on our website. All applications are then sent to the scholarship committee. We review every application. We should actually be starting hopefully next month. We will continue to award all summer, and we notify every student whether they have been selected or not. So if you fill out an app, you will hear from me or another member of the committee. And that's pretty much all I have. Like I said, I was going to just be brief this evening. And once you have been accepted and we have a completed FAFSA on file, you will get more specific detailed information from our office. So thank you, have a good night, and stay safe.
Thank you, Jess. I'm not seeing any questions in here right now, but of course, I do want to reiterate, of course, financial aid can be, sometimes overwhelming for students or first-time college students. Please don't hesitate to reach out to Jessica or anybody else in the financial aid department. We are here to help. We're definitely a hands-on school, not only in the labs, but with our students and our student services department. So please feel free to ask questions and come in, and we'll definitely help you out. So with that, I want to thank you, Jessica. And at this time, we're going to move on to hear from Jeff Bauman, our academic advisor, who's going to talk about academic advising. Jeff.
Good evening, Bill, and welcome
Hello.
everyone to our open house. Glad you're here, and I hope you all are safe. My name is Jeff Bauman, and I serve as academic advisor here at Johnson College. Our office, the Student Advising Center, is included with another teammate, a colleague of mine. His name is Andy Zwanch, and he serves as a senior director of academics. We work to do the academic advising process on campus. In the academic advising process, some of you coming from high school or even as a non-traditional student might have remembered that you had a guidance counselor. That might be equated to our role here on campus. We really work to form a relationship with many of our students. In that process, it is a transition and a really going back and forth process to keep you on track. Staying on track allows you to achieve your goals. That's one of the things we first find out is through the enrollment process, many of our enrollment advisors will set up a meeting with us in the academic advising office with an incoming student to help them see their way to their degree, to help them make the decision, but also to find ways that they will make it successful. We help you stay on track. We form that relationship early, and we guide you along through your process. We have meetings that you have each semester through the advising period time, but also during midterm grades to see how you're doing, what your struggles are, what's your successes, to laud those and to leverage those successes, and to hopefully get you over the hurdles that happen. That's really where we are. We look to find the hurdles that are in your way and help you get around them and above them to get you to your degree. That's what everyone has been talking about tonight, is to get you to that degree and into the workforce. And we are a vital part of that process. We help you plan your future semesters. That is, you're going to be here for at least 2 years. And through that process, you have to choose classes and find out what's going to work best for you as far as what's offered. We keep you on track, and then we help you by keeping you connected with Johnson College resources. You'll hear about a lot of those resources tonight from my other colleagues and what's available to you to help you be successful. We are that point person for you from orientation and enrollment all the way through to you getting that diploma and getting that job. We are that cheerleader, that person holding the sign, but also the person that's going to give you that push when you're not sure of yourself or worried or thinking that this might not be for you. We're there to keep you on track to your goals. When considering coming to college, there's a lot of factors that go into it. That's why Johnson College finds a need for flexibility to help you get your degree. We understand through surveys and understanding our students that many of you have to work while you're in college. You have to maintain a household or pay bills, whether it's full-time or part-time, to keep up with expenses, or even just to pay for the college experience and the college degree that you're working towards. So we understand that students do have that on their plate. Also, there's also responsibilities, family, as far as your commitment there and what needs to be done. And we want to know that. We want to understand where you're coming from, where you're at, so we can help you make good decisions to get you to your degree. While making those decisions, we have to look at a lot of things. And through these conversations, we help you decide that full-time enrollment is the best option for you in a semester, or even part-time enrollment. As we talked, our relationship starts when you start enrolling and when you're with the enrollment department with Alex and Angela. The great thing is we also have a wonderful relationship with Jess in the financial aid office and our other financial aid advisors to help you see the difference between part and full-time scheduling to maybe help you financially as you're going to college. Further, we have flexibility when it comes to schedule some of our classes. Talking tonight about our logistics program, Auto and Diesel, we do have a variety of scheduling times for you when it comes to these programs so that you can take some day and evening classes to be able to work and to maintain your schedule that you have now. Another thing that we're very proud of is online options for our classes. While our program office offers hands-on lab learning and you're immersed in all the lab work, we offer you the opportunity to take your classes such as general education online. So that way it frees up your schedule in order to complete your degree. Perhaps you need to get your Math 101 done, but nothing seems to work with what you need. We may have an online option that semester to make that more flexible for you. And finally, when you're looking at the end of planning for your semesters, you have online summer courses and intersession courses. We are a full year campus. We're very proud of that. It's something we've worked very hard on, and students take advantage of this. Not only because it helps reduce their course load in their semesters from a 17 credit course load to maybe about 12 or 15, but it also has a reduced cost. You're able to pay a reduced cost of $199 a credit. That's comparable to other institutions in the area, and we want to make this affordable for you at Johnson. You've already heard about our debt ratio when students come out, and we want to make this attainable for you in the time that you have. You can enroll in summer classes now if you're intending to start in the fall. You just need to reach out to us in the advising office, and we can talk about what's available and what fills into your major that you'll be taking. And one aspect that we really focus on in our academic advising office is your transition to college. We at Johnson College understand that our students come from high school, non-traditional areas where they may have attended another school. Maybe they are in the workforce already and they're changing jobs or have been laid off and they're looking for a credential to move them forward to be successful, to provide for their families. And it takes a time to get used to college. We know what it takes to be a student here at Johnson by hearing back from our students that have graduated, and we give you those tips and tricks, those resources, those stories, those advice moments to kind of give you that ease into college. Taking the summer courses is one way to do that, but also utilizing the support services that we have here at Johnson College. Us as academic advisors, myself and Andy, but also we have tutoring, we have counseling and disability services, we have our student engagement office and our career services office that all work together to help you transition from high school and outside of college to your time here at Johnson, holding on to what you care about and helping you get your degree. And finally, something that we always recognize is that sometimes people say, I wasn't the great at math. What am I going to do? How will I get through college? We have the solution to that. We understand that not everybody has a strong suit in math or writing or English. Our placement exams that you would take as you're enrolled help us tell you what classes you need to take to be prepared. You may take a placement English class or a placement math class, and that will get you ready for the college-ready math classes that you will need to take in your major. We don't want you coming in here blind and without help. We're here to offer those resources, give you that guidance, and to help you see you through the classes and all of the learning that you're going to do in the classes to get the degree and work into the workforce that you're so excited for.
Thank you, Jeff. Looking to see if we have any questions out there on the academic advising process. There's one question here, Jeff. So if I decide part-time is an option, can I maybe decide later at a different semester to go full-time? And how long can I finish if I go part-time? How long will it take me?
We encourage students, and with the process of sitting with us as academic advisors, we like to see you get your degree in 3 years. That is 1 year extra than a 2-year degree that an associate's degree typically finishes in. It allows you to keep pace with your financial aid that's available to you, but also with the courses that are offered so you don't fall out of sync with the offering of courses. So taking some courses in the summer at the reduced rate, taking some courses part-time during the semester, maybe just your VMR classes, for example, and then a course over the winter. We have a sequence that we can hopefully build where you can be part-time for some time and full-time necessarily when the courses are offered. We do track that. We monitor that very closely so that way we don't lose sight of that degree attainment in a timely manner.
That's a great point, Jeff. I do think that, a lot of our students take advantage of our summer and intersession and online because they could still go part-time and still finish in a reasonably short amount of time comparably and be ready to go to the workforce. So thank you, Jeff. And Jeff mentioned one of our partnering departments, counseling and disability services. So at this time, I'd like to welcome Emily Holmes, our counselor and manager of disability services. Emily, take it away.
Thank you so much, Bill. So just as Bill had said, I work in the Counseling and Disability Services office. Also, there's one other individual in the office. His name is John Stolen. Both of us work closely with students to help them throughout their time at Johnson College. And that also includes right now. A lot of times folks who just may be interested in Johnson College will reach out to us to have questions about, whether that be counseling or the disability services. So I'm going to keep my presentation a little bit more brief because typically the questions that folks have are more personal. So I encourage you at the end of this, I will have all of my contact information. It's also on the website. So feel free to email or call anytime. And we can, we can get your questions answered and set up a meeting time. So just a little bit about counseling services. I am a licensed professional counselor in the state of Pennsylvania. All of our counseling services are free and confidential on that supportive level. We also help students with referrals. A lot of folks come to us also even just with help for that college transition, time management, organization skills, helping to prioritize their different tasks. As many people had also mentioned, many of our students may be coming to us with family responsibilities, job responsibilities. So in my office, we try to help students find that balance to be successful. Now, another part of my office is obviously disability services. So if you had an IEP or a 504 plan in high school, or just have a disability condition that you feel may impact your learning experience or any part of your experience at Johnson College, myself and John are the people to contact. We help to ensure that everything is accessible to you. So all that we ask is that you just provide us with some form of documentation. That could be a copy of the IEP or a 504 plan. And then what we do is we set up a meeting to go over that, to discuss, what's worked for you in the past, what types of classes you're enrolling in at Johnson College, and what may be the best fit for you in terms of finding accommodations that will work. But again, all that you have to do is just contact us and we can begin to take you through the steps of that process. Another thing, as it gets to my last slide here, which is my contact information. Another thing to keep in mind is that we also have a student pantry on campus. So we've had really great folks that we've partnered with for various donations. So we've been able to help students with non-perishable food items, in some cases bus passes, and school supplies. Again, as we've talked about before, we know that our students are balancing many other responsibilities, and we want to try to help in as many ways as we can, just to really support you while you're here with us at Johnson. So again, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me, call me, and we can set up a time to chat either over the phone or with a Zoom meeting like this to go over any specific questions that you may have. Thank you so much. If there's any questions now, though, we can.
Yep. Thank you, Emily. I don't see any questions in there, but I think you made a really good point before. So I know you work very closely with all of our student support departments, our current students, but Emily also does work with the enrollment department a lot to speak to prospective students who have questions, regarding any of these topics that she covered. So she is definitely, available to assist. So feel free, to reach out to Emily or the enrollment, team if you have questions. But I don't see any in there right now, Emily. I do want to thank you for your time. And with that said, we're going to move along to hear from our Manager of Career Services, Dana Healy, to talk about career services. Dana.
Hi, thank you. So like Bill said, I'm Dana Healy, the Manager of Career Services. And I just want to tell you a little bit about how our department starts building a platform for you. So when you initially come into school, right then in the beginning, we start to connect you with employers. And we do that by using internal job boards, one-on-one career counseling, LinkedIn. So say you're just looking for a job while you're in school, you need a part-time job, you can come talk to us about that. It doesn't have to be anything related to school or your field, or it can be. We can look for that as well. We maintain great relationships with industry and we stay in contact with them regularly. So like the program director said earlier, we have good relationships with our industry. We do labs where you go out right in the beginning of your first semester. We have a huge population of internships and we stay in contact with them all the time. And the internships are a great way to market the skills you obtain in your major. So if you, get to a certain point and you start working somewhere in field and you say, well, I really want to do my internship there, we can talk about that as well. I've had students ask me that question before. If you're working somewhere and you're in field and you want to move into a department that would be where you could learn there, that's something we could discuss as well. In my department, there's myself and Greg Grace. He's the coordinator for career services. And we collaborate as well with all the other departments, resource center, student engagement, enrollment, advising. We all work closely with each other to try to give you the best professional skills. So with career services, we work on resumes, interviewing skills, professionalism, soft skills, job searching, to try to get you to whatever goal it is that you have at the end. We also hold career fairs in the spring and fall with employers from all different areas. I mean, they come as far as, we have employers that come New York, Pittsburgh, and a ton of employers that are right here in this area. And our career fairs are not open to the public. So they're only open to Johnson College students and alumni. And that's very unique. You don't have to compete with anyone from the outside. So as you're in school for your 2 years, you're getting ready to graduate in the spring when our career fair comes, it's just you, your classmates, and any alumni are always invited to come to our career fairs. I like to mention that because I think that's a unique, it's something unique that we offer. We have 86% job placement right now, and that is 86% placement in field. So it's not just the people are in jobs, they're in jobs in their field doing what they went to college for. I think that's also a big deal. You could have 86% placement anywhere, but placement in field is different than just working in any position. So I know I'm very proud of that. I know we are as a college. That's basically it. If you have any other questions, I know that my information's on there and I'd be willing to speak with anybody, or if you guys have questions now, let me know and maybe I can answer them.
Great, Dana, thank you. Like she said, her information is available. Certainly feel free to reach out with questions regarding that. Certainly a stop on the enrollment tour on campus, which unfortunately we can't do. So we brought you to Emily here and get it from there. So I don't see any questions right now. Emily, thank you for your time. And this time, I'd like to introduce our Academic Resource Officer, Ashley Hassenbein, to talk about the Resource Center on campus. Ashley.
Thank you, Bill. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening. My name is Ashley Hassenbein. I'm the Academic Resource Officer here at Johnson College. And the Resource Center at Johnson College is really how we've kind of reimagined the traditional library space that you see in most colleges and universities. We found that a Resource Center really fits what we do at Johnson College and really works with our awesome students that we have on campus. Instead of a library that's super quiet, you can't have a lot of food and drink, you have to kind of tiptoe around, and it's strictly for studying. Yes, the Resource Center is for studying, and obviously you can't come in and run around and yell, but you can talk, you can bring snacks, you can form study groups. Maybe you want to work with a set of 12 students, maybe you want to work with 2 students. We have different study spaces, so you can't really see in the picture there, but when you come on tour, you'll see that it is a pretty big space. We have our area where we have our bank of computers, where you can either work on your own. We are in the process of getting a new laptop computer bar area, which will be really conducive to group study. If you're someone that likes to work more kind of independently, or maybe just wants to work with one other person, or maybe you want to meet with an instructor because you're having an issue or seek some of our tutoring, we do have a private study room. It isn't distraction free, it's distraction reduced. So if for whatever reason you come at a time that is busy, you can get in there and kind of focus on what you need to do. Our back area is really cool. Right now it's kind of a blank canvas, and some of the most popular ways that students use it would be, for example, our physical therapy students, may come in and do some of their stretches that they need to do. We have a lot of our vet students come in and do tutoring. We have any of our students, our auto transportation students that come in. Sometimes they have group projects, so they're working on some sort of assignment together, come in and use. So it really works for all of students in all of our different program areas. Tutoring is the biggest program that is run through the Resource Center. Tutoring is free at Johnson College. And what's really neat, in my opinion, is that a lot of our professional tutors are actually instructors on campus. So you may be tutoring with someone that you've had before, or maybe you're actually working with your instructor. You've seen them for their office hours and you still want that extra one-on-one attention. You can come in, set up a tutoring session, and go from there. If you'd rather work with a peer tutor, we also do have a bank of peer tutors that I can offer. So either way, whatever you prefer, we'll have you taken care of. Tutoring is available in 2 formats. We have walk-in appointments. Walk-in in my desk at the Resource Center. I don't kind of post it all over campus because sometimes schedules do change. But for the most part, we tutor in the same content areas every week. Most of our tutoring does come for our general education classes. If you struggle in math, maybe English isn't your favorite thing, physics, chemistry, some of the gen ed courses that can be challenging, that's where most students seek help. But if you do have a problem in a content area course or a program area course, and I don't have a tutor with me at that moment, I will reach out to the instructor, you'll reach out to the instructor, and together we'll find a way to get you taken care of. Maybe we have somebody come out from industry to meet with you, but we'll address whatever need you have. As far as books and resources, we don't have a lot of textbooks on campus. We are a technical college. The books that we do have are more kind of manual guides, maybe older editions of textbooks that can be useful as a reference. Most of your research for any writing assignments that you will have in your 2 years is going to come from our academic databases. And there are so many databases out there. And if you use databases in high school and you're thinking, great, this is not what I really love to be doing, what we have at Johnson College is we pay for the Learning Information Resource Network, which is a boring title, I know, but it is really just an all-encompassing database of all the databases you've worked with. So instead of having to consult 5, 6, and 7 different areas, it's all in one space. It's streamlined, and if you can shop online or you can Google search anything, you can use our databases. And if you still struggle, I often go out into classes and meet. Sometimes instructors bring students in to work on research. So that would be another reason that you would be in the Academic Resource Center. The Resource Center also does host events. I know Dana Healy just spoke. She mentioned about the industry ready resume workshops that we collaborate with Career Services and also Academic Advising to make sure that you have an awesome resume, cover letter, and email to go along with you when you go to the career fair. It's a really cool thing with the career fair when employers are looking specifically for Johnson College students and they say, hey, we had a great conversation. Can you shoot me a resume? And you actually have one ready to go. So that's something you'll want to keep your eyes open for. And we also collaborate a lot with all departments on campus, but a lot of times with the other departments in Moffitt. So with Nolan Renz in Student Engagement and Melissa, Greg and Dana, Melissa and John in Counseling Disability Services. So oftentimes the Resource Center you'll have different events coming throughout the year. Like I said, my name's Ashley. I am the resource officer. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Great. Thank you, Ashley. Let me take a look at our question and answer box to see if we have any questions coming through right now. It doesn't look like any come through right now, but of course, with Ashley's information on screen, feel free to reach out with questions. And a lot of the times, like Ashley said, that the space up there is utilized by small groups, large groups, and sometimes, you know, other campus departments. So appreciate your time, Ashley. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill.
Right now, I'd like to introduce our Director of Student Engagement to talk about our Student Engagement Department, Nolan Renz.
All right, thanks, Bill. Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming out tonight to our virtual open house. As Bill said, my name is Nolan Renz. I'm the Director of Student Engagement. Our department is made up of two. I work alongside Melissa Kirschman, who is our Coordinator of Student Engagement. I'm just going to talk to you tonight about a few things that our department is responsible for, things you can look forward to when you're on campus. The first thing I'm going to talk about are our events that we host. So the events you see all throughout campus mostly come through our department. We collaborate a lot with a lot of the other departments, as some of the presenters before me had mentioned. We do a lot of stuff on campus, a lot of different types of events. We do Welcome Week for the fall and spring. We have a big tie-dye cookout. We do Stress Busters Week, you know, closer to the finals week. So we try to get you to, you know, relax a little bit, give you some tips, give you some pointers, refuel you a little bit. We do a big spring day, which is like our spring carnival. We do a lot of events that are geared actually towards developing professional skills and getting you ready for the workforce. You know, we really value that in our programming, and we try to work that into as much as we can, because we only have you for 2 years, so we try to get the most out of our events as we can. We usually have some kind of food or some kind of fun thing to give away at all of our events, and they're all free for our students. We try to offer them at different times and do different things to try to appeal to some of the different interests that we have amongst our students. We also do off-campus events, like trips, so to speak. So we do one big trip a month, and it could be anything from a paintball trip to a rail riders game, Dorney Park, you know, we've did the Steamtown Aquarium, we've done escape rooms, whitewater rafting, you name it, and we try to do it. We try to base it off what our students are interested in. But like I said, we do one big one a month, and that's completely paid for our students. So you take paintball, for example, we chartered a bus, we bussed you down to Skirmish USA, we paid for all of your gear, all of your paint, and a whole day of playing paintball, and then got you back home. So, you know, we try to do something, you know, like I said, once a month, just to get you out with other students, doing something fun. We do a +1 event at least once a semester so that you can bring your families, you know, whether it be a significant other, a kid. You know, we try to do family-friendly stuff too. We did an apple orchard in the fall, and we did the aquarium in the spring. So that's just a little bit about our events. Our department is also responsible for our clubs and organizations on campus. So we have a student government, which, you know, hear student concerns and try to improve the student experience. We have the JAG group, which is our activity group. They try to plan events for students. We have our student ambassador group, which is a leadership program that we have developed for our students, where they serve as kind of guides and mentors to prospective students and current students, and work with them through their time and work with different departments. And it's a really good opportunity for students to build some skills, really great thing to put on the resume. And students are also, you know, welcome to try to start new clubs if they have new interests. We work with students to try to build something that's in their own interest. And, you know, because the two of us, we think we know what students like, but we love hearing from you. We love getting your input and letting you take ownership over things to put your own spin on things. You know, we also are responsible for the fitness room and orientation, parking. Parking is free on our campus. But the next big thing I'm going to talk about is our student housing. So we serve essentially as our residence life department too. If you didn't know, Johnson College does offer student housing. It is located in the Microtel Inn and Suites, which is a hotel that's located 2 blocks from our campus. So it is walking distance if you don't have a car. You know, it's a standard hotel. It's got, each room is a double occupancy. We pair you up with another student based on, you know, a survey that you fill out, interests and habits and routines. You know, each room has 2 queen size beds. TV, a micro fridge, a microwave. Housekeeping's included, so that they'll do your towels and sheets and, your vacuum your room. So it's a pretty nice deal. There's daily breakfast in the hotel. The staff takes really good care of our students. They really get to know our students. But in addition to that, we also have 2 resident assistants that we train. And, there's students who are just like you, who are also doing this job, and they get trained and they live right there in the hotel. And there's always an RA on call, as there is always a staff member on call. So we always have someone who can help out in an emergency, a resource you can turn to, and things of that nature. But I think that's about it. Like I said, we also are responsible for parking, which is free. If there's any questions about any of those topics, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you, Nolan. Certainly a high-level overview of student engagement. I mean, I can attest that there's always something happening in the Moffett Student Center, put on by student engagement and all of the departments up there. So if you're interested in getting involved in some activities, often they're always going on along with the clubs and organizations that are there. So thank you, Nolan. I do not see any questions coming in. Let me just double check again for student engagement. But of course, with Nolan's information on the screen, as well as information on our website, feel free to reach out directly. So thank you, Nolan.
Great. Thank you, Bill.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to welcome Aubrey Armazzani, our Associate Director of Academics, to talk a little bit about our academics department. Aubrey.
Thanks, Bill, for introducing me. Like Bill said, my name is Aubrey, and I am going to focus my part of our virtual open house on the Office of the Registrar. So one big aspect that is handled by the Office of the Registrar is transfer credits. If you're a student who has prior education and you are wondering if your credits will transfer to Johnson College, I encourage you to get your transcript to the Office of the Registrar now, at any time, all the way up until the summer, all the way up until the last day of the first week of school. Have no fear, given our current climate, we will always be able to get an answer back to you. So I've had students in these last few weeks of uncertainty, frantic, will things transfer? And we are still evaluating, and we are still working as a huge team with our faculty to make sure that we do give you the best outcome if you do have prior learning at a previous institution. So if you also need any help with transfer credit, you can also reach out to your enrollment representative that you're working with. They will be able to obviously work with us and get that information right to us. So the next thing on my slide is the prior learning assessment. And this tends to be a very new way of gaining college credit from prior experience. So if you're working in field, or if you have had any type of experience with industry, I think, you can see throughout the entire presentation that we do have a ton of connections and work with industry. But if you already have that prior experience, we want to try to focus what you've learned on our education and base that on the curriculum that we offer to our students. So if you're entering Johnson College with some prior knowledge of the field, and we have a really good group of faculty, you've met a couple of them tonight, they are always willing to look over or read or evaluate by performance of what you already know to gain college credit that way. So that also is applicable to those who may be veterans. So if you were a veteran, or you were in active duty, or if you had really gained some experience in field while serving for the military, please I'm always encouraging students to bring their JST, their Joint Service Transcript, to the Office of the Registrar or with their enrollment representative. That way that we can also get that evaluated. We just want to make sure that no stone goes unturned. So the last thing in my slide is the articulation agreements. So as you've also heard, we have a lot of education options, but we also have a lot of agreements with local institutions. So currently we have 3 articulation agreements. One is with Keystone College, the other is with Marywood University, and the last one is at a very nice southern location called St. Matthews, which I believe is, if it's not in Florida, it's right past in like that beautiful Caribbean area. So if you are interested in furthering your education, you can always work with the Student Advising Center or the Office of the Registrar to see if anything would continue on to these programs that we have built with our local institutions. But, you know, as I've said, right now, please don't fear or have any panic mode in everything that's going on, that we can definitely always help you out with transfer credits or anything that you may feel is worthy of bringing into the college. We're always willing to work with any student. And that's really all I have.
Great. Thanks so much, Aubrey. Yep. And you said it. I mean, nearly 40% of our students have attended a prior college. So you guys are very, very well experienced in the articulation and transfer credits. So of course. And then also, if we have any students who are still in high school on the call, we do have some agreements with area high schools, in addition to our industry fast track program, where you can actually start taking college credits while you're still in high school and dual enrollment. So just another option for you there.
Yeah, and we definitely really built that up with the transportation division starting fall 20. So, you know, really
Right.
take advantage of that, because that's an amazing program. So.
Yep, you can basically knock out your freshman year in college during your senior year in high school. So great opportunities ahead for that. So thank you, Aubrey. Aubrey's information is on the screen if you have any questions on any of the topics that she covered. And right now, I want to turn it back over to our enrollment team, who is going to add some final touches to tonight's presentation. So right now, enrollment, please take it away.
Thanks, Phil. So again, I am Angela Semke. I am the Senior Recruitment Advisor at Johnson College. And I just want to kind of recap the enrollment process. So if you liked what you heard today, if you're interested in any of the programs that we discussed, or if you'd like more information about any of the programs that we offer, the first step would be to contact us. Step 2 is, once you determine which major you would like to apply for, please submit your online application at johnson.edu. Again, due to the pandemic, all of our applications are free of charge at this moment in time. Once you submit your application, please send us your high school or GED transcripts. With that, that's the only document really required to complete the application process. However, if you do have any college transcripts, or if you've already worked in industry, or if you've been in the military, please also submit those transcripts, and we can definitely send them over to the registrar's office to see if you can have any transfer credits coming in. And then lastly, please complete the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid. One thing that Jessica mentioned is that it's free. So if you do happen to come across a website where they charge you, please know that it's not the correct one, and don't enter any of your information. It's completely free to fill out. Okay, some upcoming important dates is our 2020 fall semester will be beginning on Monday, October 31st. And then hopefully we are looking to have an on-campus open house on Wednesday, July 15th. So again, it's going to be on campus. You'll have the opportunity to visit the different lab spaces. You'll have the opportunity to speak face-to-face with our different instructors, the different departments that were represented here. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And then if you are interested in our health or animal sciences, we will have one last virtual open house coming up next Wednesday, April 29th, and you could register at the same place you did today. Are there any questions about anything that you guys heard today? Any questions about enrollment or any of the other departments? Okay, well, on the very next slide is all of our contact information. So as Bill mentioned, you will be getting an email with the recorded portion of this. So please feel free at any point to reach out to any of us.
Thank you, Angela, and thank you to all of our panelists this evening. If there are any questions, we certainly can answer them right now. Otherwise, we want to thank you for attending as attendees. We hope you stay safe, and please feel free to reach out with any questions regarding this presentation or future open houses. So there are no questions. Thank you again. Have a great evening, and we look forward to seeing you on campus when we're back in business. Thank you.